Hey guys, welcome back. I am so excited because today I am doing 3 looks with the Alma palette. I haven't done a 3 looks in a while. I've been doing a lot of 2 looks, 1 palette, just because they take a lot of time to film. But this palette definitely deserves 3 looks. And I do already have my first impressions with a look up on my channel, so I'll link it up here. And then I also have got a look outside of YouTube on my Instagram account. So if you want to check that one out, you can as well. But today we're going to be doing 3 looks with this palette. And guys, this is so beautiful. So this is the Alma palette, and this is a collab with Amy Hearts Beauty and Amy Loves Makeup. Amy Loves Makeup is a YouTuber, and she really loves indie brands like I do, and I think it is so cool that they collaborated together. So this is the Amy x Amy collab palette. You guys can check out that video for more information about this, but this palette, it is just so unique, and I just think there's so many looks that I could create with it, and that's why I wanted to do 3 looks with this palette. So this is going to be the first look, and then I'm going to do 2 more. I'm definitely doing some kind of fun cut crease one with this palette. But before we get started, my I'm Thankful For You giveaway is going on right now, so I'll link up here the video where you can check everything out that's in that, and then I will link down below in the description box how to get entered into there. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here, and let's just hop into this look. Okay, so for this first look, we're going to do the look that you saw in the intro, and it's so simple, but I think that it is so beautiful. This palette really has some beautiful colors to do this kind of look with, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you saw the blue look I did with this kind of horizontal gradient, and I used, for the blue look, let's see if I can get this in here, I used this one. I used this one here, and those two just blend so well together. And then in the inner corner, it must have been this one here, because that's the blue shifting one. Yeah, so then I might have used a little of this too, I can't remember, but I definitely know I used this. So for this look, you guys saw it's going to be a purpley one. So I am going to start out with this color Inspiration right here. Oh my gosh, this shade is so gorgeous. It might be one of my favorite shades in the palette, but it's hard to pick because they're all so pretty. So for the outer shade, when I do this look, I always start on the outer part, and this is going to be in the transition area, the crease, and this little outer V area here. And I'm using a fluffy, I try to use a more pointed, fluffy blending brush for this outside part. This is a Morphe 573 brush, and I just kind of blend these in here about 1/3 of the way onto the lid. I mean, you can see that shade just like, oh, it just blends so well. There's no skipping or anything, and it's such a pretty shade. I think I said this in my first video with this, that she really did, or they together really did come up with some beautiful, unique shades to what I have in my collection. And y'all know I have a lot of colors in my collection. For the center area, I'm going to take this Dreamweaver shade right here. This is another really pretty and unique shade to me. It's like a lilac shade, and it's going to cover, I have a Sigma E44 brush. So it's going to cover part of where that deeper shade is, and then just go in this middle third area. Same all the way from the transition down to the lid. Now I'm going to go back in with this same brush here, the Sigma E44, and I'm going to go back in with Inspiration, which is that deeper shade we used on the outer third, and I'm just going to go back in and blend where those met. Oh, I think I need to put a little more on this eye. Do you see how good those blend together and how beautiful they look together? My goodness. So pretty. Now I'm going to go back in with just a little bit of that lilac shade Dreamweaver and do the same, just to make sure I've got these blended really well, and this shade really pops on that center area. Oh, so pretty. Now, for the inner corner, this one does not have a matte, really lighter shade. So I'm going to go in with my ingredient palette. This is an Amy Hearts Beauty palette as well. And I'm going to take Milk. You could use any kind of cream shade or white shade for this. Chicken would also work if you want to have it be a more creamy color. I want a more white popping color on the inner corner for this look. So I'm taking Milk and I'm taking it on a Sigma E27 detail blending brush. And I'm going to start on the inner corner because I want to lay it down, and then I'm going to blend it up into the purple shade. And using that white really helps it pop in that inner corner. If you want it to blend a little bit more, you could use more of a cream shade. Okay, I'm going to clean this brush off because I don't want any more white on there, but then I'm going to go on. Sometimes when you use a lighter shade and you're blending it in to another color, you can get a little skipping, so I just want to make sure I blend that out. Okay, so that is the lid. How pretty is that and how simple? Now for the lower lash line, I'm just going to mimic exactly what I have on the upper. So I'm going to start with Inspiration on the outer part of the lower lash line. Then go in with Dreamweaver, and I'm just using the same brush for all these. This is a pencil brush from Morphe 431. I think I actually want to blow it out a little bit more, so I'm going to pull a little more onto this lower lash line here. And then I'm going to go back in with my white shade from the ingredient palette. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I just love it so much. These are some of my favorite looks to create and wear. I just think they're so pretty. Okay. For the lower lash line, ooh, what do I want to do? This is Crybaby from ColourPop. Let me see how this one goes on. You know my ColourPop ones are always drying out on me. Oh yeah, that one's coming out. All right, so I'm going to do this one. I think that looks good. Oh, you guys, that looks so good. So to finish it off, I'm going to do a black wing liner, black tight line, mascara, and I'll be back to show you the final look. All right, back with the final look. This might be one of my favorite looks I've ever created. I am so in love with it. I use the Hank & Henry liner for my wing liner. For mascara, I have got the Their Real Tinted Primer and the Lash Paradise Voluminous Mascara. And on my lips, I've got the Ulta Lip Butter. Guys, they don't make this anymore. This is probably one of my favorite lip colors and formulas ever, except for the fact that I just had a ton on my teeth. Do I still have it on my teeth? Oh. Okay, got it. Yeah, so this is in Enticing, but they don't make it anymore, but it's so beautiful. So this is the final look for look number 1. Let's move into look number 2. For look number 2, I'm going to do a more pinky look, and I might add some purples into it, but I'm going to get started with, I think, Bloom, this shade right here. That's kind of the more pinky tone transition shade within this palette. So I'm just going to take, this is a Morphe 433 brush, and I'm just going to blend that into that transition area here. Like you can see, I barely put any on. It is so pigmented, so blendable. I saw her post on her Instagram page. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I mean, by the time you're seeing this, it was like last week. And she was asking if the Alma palette should become a permanent palette in the stock. And I said yes. And I think it was like 96% yes. I don't know who said no. Someone who hasn't tried the palette. It's just such a beautiful palette. I'm going to go in with Inspiration right here in the transition area. This was the shade that I used on the outer portion of the eye look in my last look. And I'm just putting that in that crease area, so it'll pop through with some depth, but shimmers will cover most of that up. I was going to do a halo cut crease for my blue look, but I think I'm going to switch it up and do it with this one. I think shimmers are going to cover most of my lid. So I'm going to take my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is like, oh, it's got to be done soon. Oh, I've already taken the stopper off, so it's coming to an end. This is in my project pan. And I am going to put this, over most of the eyelid. So then I'm going to go in with a brush and even this out, and I'll definitely be going back in with that purple shade. What is that? Inspiration. Once I finish this cut crease to really cut that edge right there and make it look sharp. But for now, I want to get my concealer down right where I want it. So for this eye, I'm actually going to go in, with the center shade first and then kind of build around that what I want there as I blend it out towards the inner and outer corners. So I'm taking this pink shade, which is Kindness right here, and I want this on the very center of the lid. And I'm not being too picky about where it falls because I'm going to go in with my other shades to make the shape that I want with it. I like where that is. I am kind of shaping it so that the top part of the cut crease, the pink goes out a little wider. So it's more of a funnel. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. And then I'm going to go in. I'm trying to decide what color I want next. I want a shimmer shade. And I think I'm going to end up going in with Heart, which is this shade right here. Because the other ones seem to be a little more like toppers, like a little more transparent. So I'm going to take just another flat shader brush. So the other one I had was, I think these are both Morphes. This one's a Morphe 421. This one is a Morphe 124. One's a concealer. One is a definer. They're pretty much the same brush. And for this part, I'm just going to go out a little bit from where the pink starts and then blend in on each side. And I am spraying these every time I use them. So it kind of helps to blend the pink and purple together a little bit. You can see they kind of blend where they meet. I'm going to put a little more pink on there. It's a little more purple than I wanted. Okay, so I like how those blend together, but I want to add some more pink to that. So I'm going to go back in with the pink shade, which is Kindness. And I definitely want more pink up here. I think I like where that is. Now I'm going to go in with, so many brushes today. I'm going to go in with the brush that I used for the crease area. This is the Morphe 507. And I'm going to take that same shade Inspiration. And that is going to blend right where these meet. I might need to go in with my finger a little bit and blend out where that concealer is. Before I go into the lower lash line, I'm going to take the Sigma E21. This is a smudge brush, but it's really just a really tiny little brush. And I'm going to take Inspiration and just really define right above the shimmer. Kind of gives almost like a shadowed effect. And then on the lower lash line, this same shade is going to go on the inner and outer corner. And then I'm going to pop the pink shimmer in the very center of the lid. I'm just going to use that same little smudger brush. I need to take this Inspiration color and really like connect it here. So I wanted a smaller brush. I think this is an inner corner brush from Sigma. Yeah, the E46. And I just want that to connect all the way without making a mess. And then the last thing I'm going to do before we go in with the details of it is I'm going to take Bloom, which was the very first shade that we used. And I'm just going to blend right up here above Inspiration. Now I'm going to do a black tight line, a wing liner, mascara. and find something for the waterline and be back to show you the look. All right, back with the final look. I decided to go with the ColourPop, what is this? Insomniac liner, just to kind of bring out some of that pink in that look. And this is probably my favorite pink gel liner ever. For the wing liner, I used the calligraphy pen from Glamlight. I got this in it was like a Black Friday box thing. It wasn't a mystery box or anything, but there'll be a little mini review coming of this when I do a whole unboxing of that. And on the lips, I've got the Lip Stories and Landing in Shanghai. And I do want to put a little bit of highlight on the inner corner. I'm going to go in with this shader crease brush from Sigma. This is an E47, and I have not yet taken Petal. This is kind of the pink shimmer shade, so I'm going to take that one and just pop it on the very inner corner there. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty with that purple shade that's there. I thought I really liked Heavenly. I thought that was my favorite. This might be my favorite inner corner in this palette. This is my first time using this shade. That is so pretty, you guys. Okay, this is look number 2. Let's move on to look number 3. So for the last look, I want to do something with the blues, but not totally blue, because I did already use them in one of my looks. I think maybe my initial look. Maybe not, maybe just an Instagram look. All right, but I do want to use these 2 blues here. And then I also for sure want to use Wish, because I haven't used that yet and it's really pretty. And then I don't know what else I'm going to use, but I might end up putting Wish on top of something because it's kind of a transparent shade. But we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with Taurus, which is this shade right here. And that's going to go on the outer V and the outer crease in transition area, but I don't want it going all the way to the center because I'm going to put the lighter blue shade there. So I'm just going to kind of pack this on this outer part here. I'm using a Luxie 131 mini angled brush. This is from a BoxyCharm box. Once I get this set down, I'll kind of blend out the edge. I just really want to get this laid down first. This is the 3rd time I've used this shade in here. It is the best dark blue. What would you call this shade? I feel like it has another name besides dark blue. But it's the best dark blue I've ever used in terms of like its blendability and opaqueness. So now I'm just going to take a really tiny brush with nothing on it. This is, I'm pretty sure this is it's a Sigma. I thought it was a Morphe. This is a Sigma E42, the Precision Firm Blender. So it's just a tiny little blender right there. And I'm just going to go and just kind of blend this out a little bit where it goes up to the brow bone. I'm not blending it all the way to the brow bone. I'm just blending it so it blends out there and doesn't have any harsh lines. I need another little brush, so I think I'm going to take this shader crease in E47 from Sigma, and I'm going to go in with this Blessed shade, which is this one right here, the lighter blue shade. And that is going to go on the inner crease and transition area. So I'm just going to pat this on where I want it at first, and then we'll go out and blend this. I'm pulling it up a little bit higher than the crease area because I want it to show after I get the shimmer shade down. So that one had a lot of fallout. So I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush and dust that off. Okay, now I just kind of brushed the color off. So I just kind of got the color off of this brush, but then I'm just going to go like I did with the dark blue and just blend it out a little bit and then make sure they're blended where they meet here. I'm in serious need of cleaning off my makeup brushes, especially all my like flat concealer definer ones. Whew. Okay, this is a Morphe 421 This one and the 124 I use a lot for shimmer shades. So I think, what do we want to put down? I'm definitely using this shade Wish. And then, ooh, you see that nail? My goodness, that looks awful. So now I need to see maybe this one. Yes, definitely, because that has a little blue tint to it. So that is Heart. I used that in the look that I just did yesterday, but I think it's going to look really well with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Heart, and I have been spraying all these shimmer shades. I just always spray all of mine, even if I've got like a concealer or glitter glue down. And this is going to go almost to the inner corner and then all the way to where it's going to meet Taurus, that dark blue shade. And all the way up to the crease where the blues are. So this purple almost has like a slight bluish black shift in it. But also pink. Maybe? Huh. It's really pretty. And these shadows they just blend so well together. I am so impressed with this palette. All right, I'm just going to go in and very slightly blend these together here. They already blended pretty well, but I just want to make sure that there's no weird lines there where the shimmer and matte meet. And then I'm going to take, this brush is a inner corner shader brush, E46 from Sigma. I'm going to take this with Wish, which is that really light blue shade. I'm going to start on the inner corner and start to pull it in over that purple shade. And I'm going to take it not quite halfway across and let it, like the heaviest part of it be on the inner corner, and then it kind of fades out as I pull it over onto that purple shade Heart to give it that gradient. So I'm going back in with more, but I'm still starting on the inner corner because that's where I want it to be the heaviest at. And then just pulling it across there. And then I think I'll wrap some of it around here. Now for the lower lash line, I brought some brushes over. I'm going to start with this little brush. This is one of the Dose of Colorist brushes that comes in the 5-pan palettes. And I'm going to take Blessed, which is that, it's kind of like a Cruellian blue. Is that what it's called? Am I saying that right? And I want this to go big under the lower lash line. So really smudged out. And then I'm going to take this brush. This is an Alma flat definer brush, but everyone's got a flat definer brush. I'm pretty sure I have one from Morphe as well. And then I'm just going to stamp the dark blue about a third of the way in there. Oh, that is so pretty. Then going with my blue theme, I want to use Prance from ColourPop. Oh, I hope this one works. Every time I get one of my ColourPop gel liners out that still have the white packaging, I get so nervous that it's not going to work because they just, well, there we go. They just don't stay, like they dry out kind of fast. All right, so this is going to go in the waterline, and I usually put 2 coats of these on just to really make it pop. I want to go in with that really little brush that I used Wish on, the really bright blue shimmer shade. And I want to take, I think Cloud 9 is the blue inner corner shade in here. Yeah, so this is Cloud 9. I'm just going to put that on the very inner corner. It's this shade right here. And just a really tiny little bit of it, just to really give a little pop in that inner corner. Oh, you guys, it's so pretty. I'm going to put on some black wing liner, Tightline, and mascara, and I'll be back to show you the final look and give my final thoughts on this palette. All right, guys, back with the final look. I used what's on my lips? An ABH in Crush liquid lipstick. I wanted something kind of like peachish because I love a peach lip with a blue eyeshadow. I'm not really sure how I feel about this one. ABH is not my favorite liquid lipstick formula, so that could be it as well. So, I mean, if you guys have watched any of the videos where I've talked about this, I think you already know how I feel about this palette. It is amazing. It is amazing. The colors are amazing. The color story, so beautiful. All of the shades are very blendable, very pigmented. I mean, one of my favorite palettes of the year. Absolutely. I did see, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. I just think it was so beautifully curated that that's highly recommended. I did see that they sold out, so congratulations to Dom and Amy. That is amazing, and you guys totally deserve to sell out of that palette. But she was asking, I think I already said this. Maybe I said this in my Will I Buy It. She was asking if it should become a permanent item for 2020 in her Instagram stories. Of course, I voted yes because y'all should have this palette, okay? Y'all should have it. But I don't know what's going to come of that, but you could definitely just keep an eye on her Instagram stories or Instagram page. I do have a discount code with Amy Hearts Beauty, so I will link that down below. I think it's Melissa Ann, and it gets you 15% off when you order from her. I think this is my 6th look I've done with this palette, and I think Lover is the only shade that I haven't used yet in it, but I'm sure I will get use out of that soon. So that is going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I appreciate every single one of you. Do get entered into that Thankful For You giveaway before you leave. I have everything linked in the iCards down below. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.